Welcome aboard. This is day 2 on the Oh Buoy Podcast, where we talk about everything that you're talking about. Relationships, food, pop culture, gossip, and we may even share some cruise horror stories. Every topic is on the table, or should I say the buffet. And so passengers, are you ready to set sail? The SS Destitution.
The Destitution, yeah, that's your cruise director, Andrew, and my name is Rochelle, and we used to be real-life cruise directors. We cannot wait to take you on this journey with us, and we want you to be involved, so send us an email at ohbuoypod@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So, Andrew, what's on the ship to shore today?
Glad you asked. We have a lot on the ship to shore. More importantly, today is the highly anticipated Taco Week update and review. Today is December 13th, Taylor Swift's birthday. Actually, that's more important. That's on the ship to shore. Happy birthday, Taylor.
Happy birthday, Taylor. Cheers. I have my wine.
Yes, I have my water. Cheers to Taylor's birthday. So Taco Week ended on Sunday. That was a couple days ago. And we have some winners. The Nashville scene announced the winners. I also announced my own winners on my own socials because they were different. So last we checked when we talked, I was going to T-Line 51 Tap. I think Waldo's Chicken and Beer. I was going to like 5 or 6 on that day. Well, we went to all of those, and then the following day and the day after that, I went to more. I ended up going to a total of 31 out of possible 41 restaurants.
31 restaurants, and how many tacos total?
Well,
did you count?
I would, if I'd have to really dig back, but I mean at least 31. But some of the places did give 2 tacos, so I would have to estimate at least 42, 44 tacos in the span of 6 days, mind you, because I didn't get to go and do tacos on Saturday. There was a tornado that came through and prohibited me from going to taco time. So, according to the Nashville scene, your winners, first place was Pancho and Lefty's. Second place was Family Taco, and the third place was Wilco Fusion Grill in Franklin, Tennessee, which, by the way, not too keen on having a Franklin restaurant participating in a Nashville Taco Week.
Fair.
I'm not a native Nashvilleian or native Tennessean, but when you're in a different county than Nashville, then you shouldn't be able to participate and win for that matter.
Yeah.
And now, fun fact, out of the 41 restaurants and the 31 that I went to, I did not go to Pancho and Lefty's or Wilco Fusion Grill. So it was all in vain, it seems. All 31 restaurants, I just know where not to go. Family Taco, I did go to that one. That one was a fan favorite of mine. It was in my top 3. I would say that is probably my 2. So that's about right. But Madison, Garden Fresh Grill in Madison, the supermarket, that was my number 1. And my number 3 probably was the Peachtree Grill because it was a little different. It was different, which I know I complained last week about tacos being, make them tacos. But this one was like a chicken. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. Maybe, no, just kidding. Totally lied. Peachtree, you were top 5. It was a good one. But Calacas in downtown, that one was the pork belly, the pickled onions, the really good sauce. That one was my number 3. That one was really good. And that's not, and the other thing is too, is a lot of these restaurants did what was already on the menu. So it's like, all right, it's Taco Week. Maybe do something a little special, but still keeping that same realm of tacos. And Calacas, I'm probably saying that wrong. It means means skeleton in Spanish, but like not like actual word for skeleton, like a slang word for skeleton. And they was really good. And don't usually have that pork belly on their menu. So it's good in that sense. But yeah, no, I ultimately, I felt terrible after Taco Week. Naturally.
Better or worse than Burger Week? Or the same?
Better. I mean, I was coming down with a little cold at the end of Taco Week here, so I was kind of pushing through on the last day. I think we went to 8 spots, and I was supposed to try to go to Poncho and Lefty's, Otto's, and Streetcar because they were on my side of town. And I looked at my friends. I go, mm-mm. We were at Taco Mama, and which was an ahi tuna taco, and I ate half of it. And I was like, I looked across the table at the teachers, and I said, "I'm out. I'm done.
No more.
No mas."
Oh, did they continue or no?
No, they were going to be done anyway, and they're like, Andrew, you need to continue. You need to go to those 3, because those are 3 that I was supposed to go to if the tornado didn't come through town, and so I was tempted to, and I probably could have, because this was around I think 6 o'clock when I was like, I'm done, because we had started our taco journey on that Sunday at like 9 a.m. So I probably could have rallied, because those taco places were open later, if I so chose, but I just could not. I felt very bloated. I had to have a couple Tums. The heartburn was really, really just top notch for a 31-year-old. And I can't wait for Hot Chicken Week. That's coming up in February.
Okay, great. Well, we'll anticipate your Hot Chicken Week. That I couldn't do that. The spiciness, it'd be too much.
No, I don't think I'll be able to do it either. I mean, it was so funny during Taco Week. Some of the tacos were a little spicier than others, and the teachers, they were just like, "Oh, this one's really spicy." I'm like, "No, it's not. This is like black pepper. Like, that's spicy to them." They're like, "Oh, it's got a good kick to it." And I go, "No, it doesn't."
Yeah, I'm with the teachers there. I don't like too much spice. I want mild. Black pepper's too spicy for me.
It's like my dad, red onions are too spicy for him. And every time my mother puts like red onions or like garlic powder and something, he goes, "Oh, what'd you put in here? It's a little spicy." And I'm like, "No, it's not. No, it's not."
Oh, it's tough. Well, thanks for sharing your Taco Week update. Thank you for doing it for the people, boots on the ground.
I do it for my fans.
Yeah, for the fans, for the passengers.
For the passengers, for you too, especially, I wanted you to feel included, even though you don't live, you were supposed to be in town for Taco Week, but you decided to not be in town for Taco Week. You said, "No, I'm going to move."
It's true. Yeah, I decided to leave, but I was supposed to be there. So maybe next year.
So speaking of move or whatever it is, tell us about your ship to shore. What you got going on?
Yeah, this week I'm in Arizona, and I didn't realize Arizona is big into Christmas. Almost every neighborhood has some sort of Christmas display.
I thought you were like, I didn't know Arizona was big. I'm like, "Oh my girl, look at the map. It is a big state."
Yeah, I didn't know Arizona was a state. Yeah, there's Christmas lights everywhere. So the neighborhood that's near the dog park that I take Penny to has really nice Christmas light display, and it's this private neighborhood. You have to drive in, you have to park, and then you can walk around, and they have decked out Christmas lights. Like, every house is Christmas lights around the trees, around the trim. They have the big blow up inflatables. They're moving to music. It's a lot. And it's really pretty, and I do like walking around. It's really fun. It's cute. Penny gets all the pets and attention from the kids. But I'm too cynical for this. And my first thought was, I want to see the HOA meetings for this. I want to see the HOA email when it comes out, October, November, saying it's that time of year again. Everyone has to decorate their house, because it was themed. Like, one street would be just red, and then the next street would be white, and then the next street was just Grinch decorations. I mean, it was themed, it was planned. Like, these people know what they're doing. And then you'll walk around, and then all of a sudden there'll be one house dark, not one light, not one Christmas tree, not one ornament outside. And it's like, I just want to know what that family's thinking. Like, did they just say, nope, we're not doing it? Did they get in trouble? Like, what is going on with these Christmas lights displays in these neighborhoods?
I wonder if they are just out of town, or maybe they don't do Christmas. Maybe they're just like, hey, we don't celebrate Christmas. You know, people do not celebrate Christmas, Rochelle. There are other religions in the world. People who don't believe in maybe their electric bill was too high last year, and they were like, hey, we can't do that again. We're going to go financially bankrupt if we do that again.
If we do that again, yeah, because this is a lot. So that goes to, I have a follow-up question. When you come in and you're an unsuspecting buyer, do they tell you? Do they say, hey, by the way, Christmas time, we do this huge thing, people come out? Like, do they warn you ahead of time? Or you just get an email from HOA being like, you got to do the Christmas lights?
And does it change every year? So it's like, all right, you know, this year this street is red lights. Yeah, next year you're going to be greens. So make sure you buy different lights. You either buy different lights every year. I'm curious.
I'm curious about that. Right. And I agree with you. I know there's different religions. You may not be into Christmas, and that's also like, yeah, is the HOA okay with that? Do you just don't participate? Do you force to participate?
I wonder. And also, are there like carolers? Is it like that Halloween? Were you walking around? Like, were you walking around, and were there people being like, "Hey, would you like some eggnog and milk and cookies?" And
there was, yeah. You did have to pay for it. It wasn't free, which probably is good. It was only like $1 each, but there were different stations where it was like the hot chocolate station. And then
did you go by yourself?
Yeah, it was just because it's right across. It's right next to the one that I went to. Is right next to where the dog park is. So I've seen the lights go on.
I mean, if I would do it by myself as well. You know, like I go walk around, to my own little thing, and I'm like, that looks pretty cool. It just seems like, it's like, this is really cute, like a cool date idea, and you're like, I'm gonna go alone.
Yeah, but it was mostly. It wasn't weird that I was by myself. Like, there were a lot of people out. There's a lot of like kids out, mostly families. Like, I would go again just to walk around, walk penny mostly.
I mean, I do like Christmas lights, and it is kind of like, especially put a little Christmas music in your headphones and just kind of wander around.
See, and that's what I should have done.
Yeah, put a little Kelly Clarkson Christmas soundtrack and just wander. And, because I want to know, Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas or Kelly Clarkson's version of All I Want for Christmas, because there is a ongoing trend where if someone creates a song and if Kelly Clarkson gets a hold of it, it's now her song. That's like the big, like, TikTok and Instagram. They're like, if Kelly Clarkson covers your song, forget it. Sorry, it's not your song anymore. It happened to Olivia Rodrigo. It happened to Billie Eilish. Kelly Clarkson came in and was like, I really like that song. I'm doing it. It's mine now. And everyone's like, this is a better version. So I wonder, is All I Want for Christmas, is Kelly's version, is it going to eventually take over Miss Mariah Carey's version? I think so. Because Kelly Clarkson's America's Idol.
That's a bold, you always have these hot takes, Andrew. That's a bold claim. I love Mariah Carey. Recently, I've been listening to John Legend. I love his Christmas album. It's like 2018 or something. It's kind of old, but, I don't know. I still love Mariah Carey's version.
That is, it sounds good. I think, why don't we take this? We're going to hold on that because I know we're going to talk about that a little later.
Yeah.
But first, we're going to go down to guest services. Guest services. This is the place where all complaints will be heard. Nothing is too big, nothing is too small or too petty. Actually, the pettier, the better. So send us your complaints to guest services at ohbuoypod@gmail.com. And we may read some of the best, pettiest complaints here on the air. So, Rochelle, tell me, do we have any fan mail? Did we have any complaints from our fans?
We did not have any complaints this week, but I know that the emails are coming in. So send us the emails because we want to hear them.
That's fair. I mean, it has only been 2 days since the release of our day one pod. So
it was actually came out yesterday. I mean,
yesterday. So we got to give them a chance to gather some complaints. So, yeah. But let's hear about yours. Yours is a big one. Yours is a doozy.
Mine is a big complaint, and I'm not going to get into the whole detail of it because it is still ongoing. This is an ongoing complaint.
This is going to be the series, like the series complaint, the biggest, the big twist, the whole season here. What's going to happen with Rochelle?
Whole season. Seriously, I would like to know too, because I have a complaint about the pods moving and storage company. And that's why I'm not saying too much, because spoiler alert, they gave me an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, to sign so that I will not speak about them and remove all of my negative reviews. And I can't post on social media and talk negatively about the company. So why, you ask?
I mean, I'm just reading your notes in here and it's like, keep going.
Yeah, it's a lot, because it's been 8 weeks since I signed on with Pods. And basically I signed on with them because they told me it would take 3 days for them to move all my stuff across country. And I was interviewing or looking at a lot of different competitors. And when I heard the 3 days, I was like, wow, that just sounds too good to be true. It is too good to be true, because it took actually 3 weeks until I got my stuff. So it's been an absolute headache. It's been a nightmare to deal with. And then when I read reviews online, it's the same exact thing with everyone. Whoever's online customer service calling, selling the initial pod is just lying, I guess, to say whatever they need to say to make the sale. And then there's no communication. They don't email you what's going on. They don't call you what's going on. And then when you call them, it's the same 1-800 number. And then they transfer you and transfer you and transfer you. And then they tell you, oh, so-and-so will let you know, but you have to call back tomorrow. So I just feel like it's just a huge headache. And I think that they just put you through the ringer until you just give up, essentially. But I didn't. So I got the NDA because I scoured the internet until I found every C-level and every director and every VP. I have an email chain with like 10 pod management right now saying like my story, what's going on. I need a phone call. And nobody called me. Nobody emailed me. I just one day woke up to an email that had an NDA. And they basically said, we will give you a portion of your payment of the pod back if you sign this, and essentially shut up and stop emailing me and take down your negative reviews and don't talk about us on podcasts, social media, etc.
We're gonna get canceled only 2 episodes in.
2 episodes in, and we're getting sued. Yeah, so that's why.
Oh boy.
Oh buoy. Yeah, so that's why I haven't signed anything yet. I actually went back to them and I said, I think that's illegal, sir or ma'am, because there is something called the Consumer Protection, Review Protection Act, and it was passed in 2017 or 18, and it basically protects this situation where companies cannot, if you write a negative review, a company can ask you to take it down, but they cannot hold money hostage. They cannot bribe you. They cannot sue you or threaten you if you don't take it down. So I don't know, I'm sure this is a corporate company. They probably know what they're doing. I don't know if what they're doing is exactly illegal, but it's definitely shady. It's definitely unethical. So I don't like it. That's my complaint.
And the Better Business Bureau will have something to say about this. There's a lot of this happened in one time with U-Haul, and I just kind of ignored it. I was on the other side of things where I was like, I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to ignore it because it wasn't a fact of the money was wrong. It was just I was annoyed of having to get my U-Haul because they changed where I had to pick it up, but I didn't, because I didn't call and confirm, or they called and tried to confirm with me. I mean, I talked about this on my other podcast, the QBL pod, so I'm not going to go too far into detail about U-Haul because I already did that, and we're not U-Haul fans, and we're not pod fans anymore. So Penske and Budget, you guys might get some good sponsorships out of the Quit Your Bitchin' podcast and Oh Buoy Podcast.
Yeah, there we go.
Pack Rat, that's another one.
That's another like pod competitor.
Because it's like now you live in an apartment complex where you had to get approval to block off some spots, and then you had to go back and get approval, and then people were taking videos of your car because you had it blocked off, and they were like, "Who's taking up all this space? Who is this lunatic that is just taking up too much room?" Yeah. So there's a lot of emotional damage here and a lot of financial damage. You can just down with pods. Now, granted, this is the exact opposite of the NDA because, I mean, you didn't sign it, so you can slander all you want, but eventually this may be like a lost episode of our podcast here when we eventually
Why is episode 2 missing?
settle for millions of dollars. And it's just
yeah.
But I'm on board. I'm on Team Rochelle. I've always been, you know that. So that is a better complaint than I have, but I guess I will pivot. I had some people have headlights as bright as the amount of brightness that these headlights are. They're like, oh, I lost something down a well and I need to make sure I can shine a light that's bright enough all the way to the bottom of this well, or even to the point where like, oh, we want this bright light to reach outer space. So that's how bright our headlights are going to be. Like they're usually trucks too. They're really big, giant lifted trucks, which for anybody who drives a big, giant lifted trucks, I have many qualms with you. 1, who hurt you? 2, it's okay that it's small. And 3, you live in a city. I don't know why you need such a big truck. Like It was more of annoyance in like Boston when there was people with like giant ass trucks because the streets are narrow. It's an old city, and like this giant lifted Ford 500, whatever it is like trying to go through this tiny one-way street with its mirrors like out to here. And I'm like, we're in a city. Like, why do you need that? Like, it's like something you need in like Montana. Like, I don't understand. And so these big lifted trucks, the way these bright lights shine, they just hit directly into that mirror and they blind me and I can't see. I'm driving blind and I hate it. And it's like, it reminds me of when you sneeze and while you're driving and you're like, oh my God, because every time you sneeze, you close your eyes. Like that's that level of fear of not being able to see. That's every time someone's with these really, really bright lights. And I just don't get it. I don't. And maybe people are like, well, I want to see. So I'm being hindered by your inability to drive at night without giant bright lights.
I'm there with you. I hate the bright lights. I don't.
And that's not even their high beams.
Yeah.
That's like their normal lights. And then like if they're driving at you with those aggressively bright lights and you're like, you're trying to hold off, you're trying to, look to the right, like you've been taught to drive red. And then you finally had enough, like, and so maybe they've forgotten to take off their high beams. So you kind of give them a quick little flash and then they blind you even more, like retina burning brightness. You're like, oh my God. You're like that fish in SpongeBob who's just like, absolute gone. And I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't understand. And then on another note, in the morning, for some reason, my windows are, foggy or condensation, like something to do with science that I don't understand. I get it. But, well, I don't have time to wait for my whole thing to defrost or defog. I don't know. I don't know what button to press to get that to go away. Like if it's ice, yeah, heat. But if it's like that weird, like it's on the inside, not outside or whatever. And it's just, you're like, is it cold? Is it heat? I don't know. And then, so I'm driving. And so I'm just, it's really hard to see with the sun and then the bright lights. It's just, I can't do it. Yeah. I want to be able to see while I drive.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
That's so much to ask.
I have so many, what do you call it? Pet peeves, complaints, whatever it is with driving. It's going to be constant. I just don't like anyone else on the road. I just want to be by myself.
I had to pick one. So I have a whole list, and we're going to get through all of them. Throughout this podcast. So and some of them, you know, I've heard on other podcasts, they've also shared my same qualms with many of these, and you know, some of their logic and reasoning. I'm like, yes, that is correct. So I will share if I was president of the world for a day, one of my decrees surely would be no more big bright lights. Period.
End of story. First thing on.
Not the first thing. No.
Oh, not the first thing.
Oh, no. People who don't walk on the sidewalk is first.
Who don't walk on the sidewalk? They're walking in the middle of the road?
You know, I'm talking, it's mostly runners or athletic people. Okay. And like they're walking, you know, there's clearly a sidewalk on both sides, you know, or even, if there's both sides have sidewalks and one person is like, you know, I'm going to walk, you know, in that lane that's right next to the road rather than on the sidewalk. I'm like, why? Why aren't you running on the sidewalk? Why aren't you walking on the sidewalk? The state, the city, the town, whatever municipality we're in, paid money to put that sidewalk in there. Be on it. For you. For pedestrians, to make sure you don't get hit. Oh and it's like, okay, if like they're going like around a person real quick, that's fine. You know, I mean, I still jail, but you know, it's going to be a lesser sentence. But if you are on the road when there's clearly a sidewalk.
On the sidewalk. And my thing, this is getting now into bikers.
Oh God.
Oh my God. The bicyclists. When I was in San Francisco, it's the worst. It's just, they are in the middle of the street, and San Francisco even has bike lanes. They took out parking spaces to make an entire bike lane for you. And they will go right in the middle of the street. They will go right through red lights. It's like nothing, the rules don't apply to them. And it's frustrating. I've had it.
Yeah, cyclists that don't follow the rules of the road. Yeah. Like, I'm all for cyclists. You know, it's good for the economy. It's good for your exercise, all that stuff. You know, but don't, you know, and also don't tell me that you cycle. Like, I don't care. You know, people who act like they're better than me because they cycle. Like, I cycle to work. What do you do for the environment? I go, I don't know. I recycle sometimes, but the cyclists that don't follow the rules of the road, like cyclists on the sidewalk, that's where, you know, you're on the wrong side of that. Like, get on the road. It's to share the road, not the sidewalk. So I don't like when cyclists are on the sidewalk. I don't like when cyclists go down the wrong way in a one way. They have to follow all the rules of the road. I don't like cyclists that don't stop at red lights. I don't like cyclists that use that hit the walk button to then cross the street via the the crosswalk. Unless they get off their bike and walk their bike across, then that's allowed because that's what the rules state. But the people who just on their bikes, they think because they're at a bike, they can weave here and there and do that, and then they complain when someone hits them because they didn't follow the rules of the road. Like, I'm sorry.
No, yeah. You're on it. You hit the nail on the head. It's so annoying. It's so frustrating.
So, I mean, that was a big complaint. That was a big complaining section. But I think we're, you know, guest services has, you know, a lot of complaints. But I think guest services also, they come to usually tell us when we're doing good things sometimes, right?
So if anyone here has a customer service job, it's tough. We always get yelled at. We never get complimented. So when something goes right, we think it deserves recognition. And sometimes the small things go a long way. If you want to praise someone for a job well done, email us at ohbuoypod@gmail.com and let us know something good. Tell me something good.
All right. You want me to start with my good news, my good customer service, who I want to praise because it happened today. It was very fresh in my mind.
Yes.
So I won't go into details of where I work, but I had to purchase trophies today for a group of children. No, I'm not a teacher. But and a little shout out. Hopefully everybody is okay with that tornado, because the trophy place that I normally call may or may not have been wiped out by the tornado. They haven't really returned any of my phone calls, so I had to pivot in a rush to get new trophies ordered and priced up. So I called a little shop called Mount Juliet Trophies. It's a small business, I imagine. They don't even have a website. And I talked to this woman named Kathy, and that's Kathy with an I-E, not with a Y. And she was very helpful on the phone today. And I was able to order all my trophies, and she was able to walk, because I've never ordered trophies before, at least in mass volume, where it's like, oh, the winners need to get big trophies, the losers need to get small trophies, and whatever. I've always ordered like one trophy for our fantasy football, and that was like just online. We're just like, yep, that done really quick, quit you bitching champion. Engraving was optional and whatever. So I had a lot of questions about trophies. I'm like, how much room do I have to engrave on it? Like, can I put a logo on it? Like, what do you need from me? Do you need to get the JPEG from me? Like, I had a lot of questions, and she was like, nah, you just got to tell me what you want, and we'll walk it through it. She's like, I got the catalog right here, and I'll just, what color do you want? What size do you want? And if you do this, you do that. I go, awesome. You're a trophy expert. You own a trophy store, and I've never won a trophy. So this must be, well, that's not true. I have won a trophy. I was Mr. Sexy Legs in 2014 on the Norwegian Dawn, August 3rd. So I did get that trophy. Yay. And so she's very helpful. And I cheers to Kathy with an IE.
Cheers to Kathy.
She made it easy.
Thank you, Kathy. We love that. We love a good customer service moment. Okay, let me get mine because I have a visual. I'm a mess this month.
Yeah, you, ladies and gentlemen, Rochelle. She is quite the extra person here. She's got a prop and everything.
If you were talking, I can't hear you.
No, I was talking for the passengers. I was giving them a fill-in that I was talking about you. Like, you'll never know. Like, not like you edit and listen.
No, yeah. But it'll be a surprise because I won't know. Now I have Penny next to me. So my praise is to Ollie, which is a dog food company. I use Ollie to feed Penny. Not sponsored. I just love this company, Ollie. They are free of fillers, byproducts, artificial flavors, preservatives, corn, wheat, soy, and they deliver to your door. So when you sign up for a recurring delivery, they give you this cute container that you can keep the food in because it has to be refrigerated. So it's half refrigerated food and half kibble, which I love because Penny deserves both. She deserves a little wet food and the kibble. So this is what it looks like. For those watching, it's a little container. And
for those listening, it is a little container. For those watching, you saw her just ASMR tap that. But for you listening, it's probably like a salmon colored plastic container.
Salmon colored plastic container.
Probably 4x8, maybe.
Possibly.
With a depth of 2 3/4 inches, maybe 3 1/3. Oh, yeah, we got a
yeah. Okay, so basically, it broke. I did not break it, for the record. Someone else did. She's very famous. She goes on tour with artists, stars all the time. They request her presence on board. And
still?
No, not still. Oh. But maybe.
Maybe.
The people love Penny. And while she was away from me, it broke. And I just got a picture saying Penny's food container broke. So basically, I wasn't even going to complain.
It broke.
It just broke magically.
No, not sorry. It just broke.
It just broke. So I
don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
I woke up and it was in pieces. So
sorry, I don't mean to derail.
It's okay. You're stepping on my lines. No, it's okay. So I get this text and I'm like, oh my God. But I like it. I love this little container that's like specifically for Penny. So I wanted the same exact one. So I went online. I was going to buy it. I didn't even tell the company I was going to buy this, but they didn't have it on their website. So I emailed them and I just thought, I don't even know if they check their customer service emails, right? But I did. I sent them the photo. I was like, hey, this broke. So sorry. Can I buy a new one? And without even 24 hours later, they emailed me back. They said, is this your account? Is this your address? We're going to send you a new one too. And I was like, oh my God, you don't have to do that. I would buy a new one. And they said, nope, no problem. We'll send it to you. And it arrived in a few days and they gave me a free new container and I love it. And again, it just probably cost them nothing to send this new one over. It was just such a great surprise just to be, hey, we'll send you one for free, no problem. And I love that. So thank you, Ollie. Cheers to Ollie.
Not a sponsor, but cheers to Ollie.
Not a sponsor, but I will tag them and I'll share Penny's code if you'd like to try your own Ollie for your dog.
Well, that is something, we love that. So now let's, I mean, I would say let's lighten the mood, but I mean, that was a pretty light mood, it's very exciting. We had a broken dog food container by those famous stars that Penny hangs out with. It's rock stars, right? They tend to like destroy hotel rooms and
they get crazy.
They get wild and they just say, sorry, broke your dog's food bowl. But to lighten the mood here, we have the weekly entertainment, right? Shall we close this out with some weekly entertainment?
Yes, weekly entertainment. Only
the
the
Foo
best...
Fighters.
What?
Like Christopher Walken in Saturday Night Live when he introduces the Foo Fighters and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, the Foo Fighters. Like the way he says it.
You do a great impression, but I've not seen that episode.
Oh, no, that was terrible.
Weekly entertainment. Only the best cruises have song, dance, and live performances. Follow our Spotify. We will add these songs to our Spotify playlist every week. And this DJ takes requests, so email us a song that you think we should add at ohbuoypod@gmail.com. Andrew, what song are you getting into this week?
Oh, I'm glad that you mentioned it. So I see that your song was Christmas spirit related. So I decided to go Christmas spirit related. And it is from a newer, I mean, I think it came out last year, the movie Spirited on Apple TV or Apple Plus, or I don't have it, so I don't know which one. Was it Apple TV?
Oh, the not comedy musical.
Well, no, is it yes, that's the movie. It's called Spirited. Is the name of the movie. I'm talking about is it Apple Plus, Apple TV?
I think it is on Apple.
No, it is. I can't remember what. Like it's Hulu, it's Netflix, it's Disney Plus. It's just Apple TV. Is that what it's called?
I think it's just Apple TV.
So it's on Apple TV. And I watched it last year with my friends who had Apple TV, and we thought it was hilarious. Will Ferrell is hilarious. And it is a comedy musical, correct, where they're the classic Scrooge story, trying to save someone's soul from eternal damnation of being a Scrooge. And they sing songs in it, and it's got Ryan Reynolds, and it's hilarious. But there's one song that Will Ferrell goes to start singing in the middle of the movie, and they're like, no, we don't want to hear it. We'll give what you want, so we don't want to hear you sing. He's like, wow, you didn't want to hear my song, and they're like, no, what are you gonna do? What you say? And I was like, oh. And then at the end of the movie, in the credits, after everything wraps up, they play that song in the credits, and there's the music video, what was supposed to happen in the movie along with it. And I'm like, that song is catchy. It's called Ripple, and it's about creating a ripple off of a change. And it's Will Ferrell is great, and the people who wrote it is they were the same people who did La La Land, The Greatest Showman, Benj Pasek and Justin Paul, or Pasek and Paul is what they're known for. And so they're Academy Award winners. They wrote City of Stars, so they have good musical chops. And this song, I mean, they did the whole movie, so it's a good movie, from start to finish. The music is great, the acting is great, the story is great. So it's a good movie too. But the song, I still listen to it and sing along in the car. So that's my Christmas spirit. And an honorable mention, we talked about Kelly Clarkson earlier. Under the Tree is. Oh
yeah, that's a nice one.
It makes me want to go to Target. It makes me want to shop at JCPenney. It just makes me want to do Christmas shopping for people that I care about and just sing along. It's Kelly Clarkson. How can you not sing along? So
how can you not? Nice. I love that. I love that song. So we will be should we add both of them to our playlist?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah. Let's add both of them. It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want. Okay. My song of the week, of course, getting into the Christmas spirit, is the John Legend album. I just think it's so fun. My sister actually turned me on to this album because she always listens to it. But the song that I'm referring to is What Christmas Means to Me. It's been recorded by many artists, including but not limited to CeeLo Green, John Legend, Stevie Wonder. And my least favorite cover of this song is the Jessica Simpson version. So that I don't think we'll be adding to the podcast unless people just really want to know what it sounds like.
Well, no, we don't want to add all the, you think our Spotify playlist. It's like, so what's the playlist? It's actually got Sorry Not Sorry, Kiss This, and 7 different versions of that
of what
song,
Christmas means
of what
to me.
Christmas means to me. You know, they're like, oh, the one from Home
Yeah.
Alone. Yep, that one. But so
one,
it's just
yeah.
that's mainly the whole Spotify, the whole playlist.
So I'll definitely add the John Legend one because that's my favorite right now. I think it's really fun. It does feature Stevie Wonder. I think from my research, Stevie Wonder was the first one to release this cover in 1967, and John Legend came out with his version with a Stevie Wonder feature in 2018. Anyways, I love the song. It's fun. I think it's a great Christmas song. So that's my song of the week.
It's like, I'm pretty sure it's on Home Alone too. I mean, or not too, Home Alone.
Really?
It's in the movie Home Alone.
It's like, what Christmas means to me, my love.
Christmas means to me, my love.
I know, I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah, you're a fantastic singer.
Thank you.
So yeah, excellent weekly entertainment here. Well, folks, I think this is the time where we say goodnight to you. You know, we got a big day ahead of us. Day 3 is coming up. Here it's 70s themed. Just kidding. But we'll be we will be sailing into Jamaica, Falmouth, at 07:30 this morning. So be sure to check out the Margaritaville as well as the Jamaican patties. They are delicious. Get it with cocoa bread with cheese. That is very good.
Great passengers, thank you so much for listening to us. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can send us an email at ohbuoypod@gmail.com. Everything is linked in the show notes. And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.